Hi, everybody. Hello. Oh my god. No, I could do. Um. You can't even see me. He's too little. You can't even. I'm sorry, this is cracking me the fuck up. Because he's too little. Hello. You guys haven't seen this in a while because I kept forgetting to turn the redeem on. Hi. It's 9 a.m. for us. Yeah. I hate it. It's way too. I'm literally in a dark room. I didn't even bother turning my lights on. It is dark. It is sleepy. It is the perfect reading vibes. And now I'm apparently a little guy. I didn't even test out things with him, so. Yep. Well, I'm glad you guys are at least liking him. I do love him. I haven't seen him in a while and I have missed the boy who doesn't still have a name yet. Um but my other redeems won't work on him, so you get him for 10 minutes and then I have to try and change back. Yeah. You have to it's Bonk the fairy, not Bonk the mascot. don't, don't eat me. Hello? Oh my god. Hi. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the chaos. Oh my god. My god. I don't know why it's just like this. It is really tickling me for some reason. Wait, I need to set a timer so I remember to change back. I think I'm pretty sure I've done an entire ASMR stream with just this guy before, but okay. It's so floofy, yeah. So floofy. Cheesy? Where did cheesy come from? Why am I cheesy? Oh my god. Do you want a pet? Just be careful of the horns and you can pet me. Shall we read? Or am I just gonna be distracted this whole time? That's fine. Um I'll see if I can set up like the head pad redeems on him. It shouldn't be too hard. Give it a blast and see what kind of messed up creature it becomes. My cheeks are actually hurting from laughing right now. Jesus Christ, guys. I don't want to think about what kind of messed up creature it's gonna become. That's scary. That's like, oh, when you watch the fluffiest cats, they become just so terrifying looking. Let me see if I can grab pet pets. Pet pets. Have to do it manually, but head pets. I can do some cute stuff with him. I'll set up some redeems. Proper. Um so anyways, how y'all doing? Hope you're having a good day. Oh my god. Why are we doing this? There you go, you can boop the snoot. It's not set up yet, so I'm just doing it manually. Alright. Um, I will. There we go. The one monitor is killing me today. I don't know why. I'm fine with it most of the time, but today it's being particularly annoying. So, mm, you're so right, Apocalyptic. You're so right. Okay, I have to resist the urge to like attempt to set up the redeems right now, so I'm gonna not do that right now, but I'll have it for next time because I fear this guy might show up more often now. Gotta set it up properly. All right. Um. So I hope y'all are having a good day. I will. Oh shit! Did I turn that on? I think it should be on the reading command. Yes. Perfect. Awesome. Great. We're back to Sherlock Holmes. But nobody's surprised. Maybe I should find other stuff to read. I have the suggestions from last stream. I need to like look into them a bit more. Um. Da-da-da-da. Oh, thank you for the hydrate. Mm, all right. So we can continue with the memoirs of Sherlock Holmes. No, what? What? What have you seen? No, tell me. You can't. You no, don't do that. You gotta tell me. Hey, hey. No, don't gang up. That's not fair. Damn. Chat, why do you gotta keep secrets, huh? Can't keep secrets from your streamer. That's not fair. I don't think that's fair at all. Anyways, well, I guess I just have to move on and deal with it. So, I have. Oh, yep. with the Wordle. There hasn't been new additions to it yet, so you might know some of the words. I'm planning on having what I'm calling an admin day today after stream. So I'll update because I need to fix some of my overlay and I need to update a bunch of things. I'll do that today. I but the way you say fair is a dark. Now I'm overthinking the way I say fair. What? Do I not say it normal? Am I saying it weird? Huh? Oh my god. Oh my god, guys. Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Fucking Christ, my cheeks. Alright, okay. I have to be normal. I have to be normal. It's fine. Everything's fine. So, can I read now? Shall we read? Do you guys want to read or do you just want to yap? Oh my god. Where's my thing? This Twitch. Okay. Everything. Am I on the right Wi-Fi? I am. Of the reading and I have bit of both, right? God, I love Saripod. Okay. So, the memoirs of Sherlock Holmes. We have. What is happening? Okay. Um, Story number fucking whatever. I don't know. They don't number the stories, which is annoying, but I have the title. It's called The Crooked Man, which I think is going to be quite fun. Alright. Okay. So, one summer night, a few months after my marriage, I was seated by my own hearth smoking a last pipe and nodding over a novel, for my day's work had been an exhausting one. My wife had already gone upstairs, and the sound of the locking of the hall door some time before told me that the servants had also retired. I had risen from my seat and was knocking out the ashes of my pipe when I suddenly heard the clang of a bell. Hi, Taku. Welcome, welcome. We're still reading Sherlock Holmes. I'm gonna look into some of your suggestions from last stream today and might pick them up for next time. We are reading The Crooked Man, and we just started, so perfect timing in joining in. Um, it's time for him to go. He must. I have to manually go back to my other model, so bear with. It takes a second. They do not have the beefiest PC. Um. Oh, my nose is sniffly. What the fuck? Why? Hi, I'm back. I'm a person again. Listening to the Philosopher's Stone audiobook where Hugh Laurie voice. Ooh, that sounds like it would be a good time. I'm not a big audiobook listener, not gonna lie. But I think that's just because I need like a visual. I also read really fast. So listening to other people read, I get too like slow. I'm just like, oh, thank you. started on House. Don't get me started on House. That's a bad idea. I love that show so much. Oh my god. Usually speed up audiobooks and podcasts. It terrifies everyone around me when I'm watching TikToks at like 2 times speed and they're like, how are you understanding this? I'm like, what do you mean? People talk so slow sometimes. I need to tell them to hurry up. That it is insane. It is wonderfully insane. It is one of the few shows that I have watched in its entirety when I was younger. Like committed to watching it on television when it was broadcasting or whatever the fuck. It was wild time. I think I was still like a young teen at that point as well. I should not have been watching that show. But like it was so good. It was Dr. House and it was Castle, the detective show. Fucking obsessed with it as a kid. It was amazing. Mhm. Okay. So, um, there we go. Back to paragraphing, because I don't remember where I left off. Hi, friend. Thank you for the hydrate. Mm, mm. Okay. So, there it is. We are reading The Crooked Man. I looked at the clock. It was 1:45. This could not be a visitor at so late an hour. A patient, evidently, and possibly an all-night sitting. With a wry face, I went out into the hall and opened the door. To my astonishment, it was Sherlock Holmes who stood upon my step. "Ah, Watson," said he, "I hoped that I might not be too late to catch you." "My dear fellow, pray come in." "You look surprised, and no wonder. Relieved, too, I fancy. Hmm. You still smoke the Arcadia mixture of your bachelor days, then? There's no mistaking that fluffy ash upon your coat. It's easy to tell that you have been accustomed to wear a uniform, Watson. You'll never pass as a purebred civilian as long as you keep that habit of carrying your handkerchief in your sleeve. Could you put me up tonight?" "With pleasure. You told me that you had bachelor quarters for one, and I see that you have no gentleman visitor at present. Your hat stands proclaims as much. I shall be delighted if you will stay." "Thank you. I'll fill the vacant peg then. Sorry to see that you've had the British workman in the house. He's the token of evil. Not the trains, I hope?" "No, the gas." The- There's something so quintessentially British about this conversation, but I don't know how to explain it. It's like, yes, it's old timey, but like, without the old timiness, there's still something so British about it. Old timey. Yeah, listen, listen. You cannot convince me that these mans are not gay. You just cannot convince me. Like the way that Watson writes about Sherlock and the way that he like fucking talks about him so poetically, that man was head over heels, okay? Like he was obsessed. There's been other um times when reading when I've brought this up as well where I'm like, why is he describing like the tone of Sherlock's voice as honeyed and like things like that that just make me go, guy, be so fucking for real. Something about gentleman visitor. Uh-huh. I mean, it doesn't mean what we wanted to think, but still. It's just so silly. I love it. Oh my god. Okay. So, Soren, no. Sherlock and Watson are like and Soren. Who is that? So many references go over my head because I was gonna say stupid. That's not the correct thing. I just like don't really watch stuff. I don't consume a lot of media that isn't like stream VODs at this point in my life. I need to start watching, or no, I need to continue watching The Rookie. That was like my latest show that I became mildly obsessed with, and I really want to continue it because I love that fucking actor whose name I forgot. Nathan Fillion. I love him. I love him. He was my first like um live TV, like live action TV or whatever, you know, um crush that I had. It was so good because I used to watch him in Castle. I was obsessed with that show. I think that show might have been part of my bisexual awakening. If I now that I think about it, I literally had like all of the seasons on DVD level of fucking obsessed as a kid. Need to continue the rookie? You should. I think I got up till I have a tab open for it somewhere on my computer. I think I got up to season 3, I believe, before I got distracted by something else. I don't even know what I got distracted by, but I distracted by something. God, why is my nose being weird? Um, remember watching Castle as a kid? Yeah, it used to come on like TV, and I would watch it, and then something about it would just like strike me, and I started collecting like the DVDs. The It helped that before Castle, I was also obsessed with Nancy Drew. Fucking love that girl and her stories. Because my mom used to be obsessed with her as well, so we had like so many novels at home. And I feel like once you've unlocked the like mystery detective genre, you're just in there now. You're locked in. I love that kind of shit. Criminal Minds. Oh my god, Criminal Minds. The chokehold on me in university. Like, holy fucking shit, that guy was so hot. I don't remember his actual name because my one of my best friends at one point called him Matthew Google search, and that's all I can think of now when I think of him. But God, Criminal Minds was so good. I need to go back to it because I never finished it because I didn't want it to end because I was gonna get sad if it finished. So I just like watched like half of the last season and didn't finish it because I didn't want it to end. And so now it's like suspended in a oh, I just didn't continue it kind of um thing in my head. I can pretend that the show never ended. I've never watched Game of Thrones, interestingly enough, or Lord of the Rings. I've watched The Hobbit. I don't think I've watched Lord of the Rings at least. I know my boyfriend made me watch The Hobbit, and like it was okay. I prefer the book. Don't. I mean, honestly, I'm not very interested in it either. It's just like too. It's almost too dark. Like I like fantasy, but I don't like fantasy when it's dark and gritty and weird. I like that. I like fantasy in the way of like Wings Club and Magical Girls, or like D&D games. I'll watch a lot of D&D podcasts. That's about 3. My God. Yeah, that's dedication. I know a lot of my friends do that as well, and they're obsessed with those movies, Lord of the Rings, like extended cuts, and I'm like, bestie, I barely have the attention span to watch a normal film. I am not doing like a fucking 12-hour marathon of a movie I'm not even that interested in. It's like, I don't know why. There is something about this, like the story of The Hobbit. I remember reading it in school and I genuinely really liked it. The story of The Lord of the Rings, like I was told the premise of it and I'm like, okay, why do I care? Like, I just don't care about the main character. I'm just like, huh? I don't know. Something there's like a weird disconnect there for me for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. He says, now you guys have actually got me yapping. Jesus fuck. The Hobbit is a prequel to The Lord of the Rings. Well, I know that. And The Hobbit was fun. The Hobbit was like you take this little old man completely out of his depth and like the environment and elements that he's used to, and he's just in this like the, the Hobbit to me almost read like a comedy. This is gonna be like controversial opinion central now, because like oh god. Hi Lancer. Welcome, welcome. Give me a sec. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Oh my god. Okay. Anyways, my thing about the Hobbit, right? You take this guy, you take this sweet, this little old guy who's used to his habits and his way of living, and you go, hey, you kind of have to save the world. And it's a little bit funny because he's just kind of bumbling around the whole time. Um, the what's it called? And like it's funny. At least in the books, I was like, it's enjoyable. Yeah, it gets serious. There's a whole lot of stuff happening, but like, there's like a funny to it. And then the Lord of the Rings, however, it's just like so serious from the start. It's so like you have to throw this ring into the fire kind of shit. And I'm just like, and also the guy, the character himself, I don't even fucking know his name. Is it Frodo? It might be Frodo. I know the Hobbit's Bilbo. Anyways, that guy, I just don't care about him. I'm just like, I don't know. He's not that likable. Maybe I'm weird. So, oh god. Y'all are still arguing about game. Okay. Better now that I finally got a stream. Yeah. I'm experimenting with stream times again, so you might be able to catch more. Uh, if I can wake up early enough. Because it is 9 a.m. I don't like being up this early. But it's also kind of cozy because I got my blanket and like I have my lights turned off. Which the fact that my phone is tracking me this good without any lights on in my room, I just have like a little bit of light coming in through my curtains. That's it. Frodo isn't really generic since he's kind of the original, but like he's so bland. He's so just like a guy. I don't know. He's not yummy. It's 9 a.m. for you too. It is. And finding someone else in the same time zone as me is fucking wild. Holy shit. Oh my back. I am so sore from the gym yesterday still. It is like, Jesus Christ. There are muscles in my back that have never been used, I don't think. I should have gotten something to eat. I did not actually have breakfast or anything. Mm. Chicken nugget. I would kill for some chicken nugget. I don't think I can get chicken nugget at 9 a.m. Don't think the McDonald's is even open. Well, even if they were open, they don't serve and nuggets early in the morning. It's really annoying. Damn it, Agatha. Wait, it didn't work. Ha. Ha. It didn't work. I don't know why it didn't work. I should be concerned. Wait, let me. Um, where is it? There you go. Mm. McDonald's is 24 hours and they sell nuggets all day. Not everywhere in the world, funnily enough. It's 24 hours where I am. In England, it fucking isn't. And in the morning during their breakfast time, they do not give you nuggets. It's really annoying. I have dealt with this where I've been like, I just want like fucking 9 a.m. nuggies. And they won't give me 9 a.m. nuggies. And I think that's not fair. Also, yeah, I know why it didn't work. I just hadn't clicked into BTS properly. That's fine, right? Shall we read? Or do you want to just hear my weird opinions about um movie franchises? This has been happening, to be fair. Okay, and listen, this has been happening a lot. Is people in my life try to get me to watch movies, and I'm just like, but like, there's nothing about the main character that interests me. It's literally just like a guy. I'm tired of watching films with just a guy. Give me a fantasy movie with the main character who's a girl, and I will probably enjoy it 20 times more. I'm tired of it all just being men. Like, and they're the most average dudes in the world. There's nothing interesting happening. It's like, come on. Like, something of substance, please. Watch Freerun? I have. Well, I haven't finished it. I've watched the first couple of episodes. My issue with Freerun is that it's a bit too slow for me. It's beautiful, it is stunning, it is a show I would probably watch with someone rather than alone though, because I need like a little bit more like talky. Have you seen Alita Battle Angel? I haven't. Wait, I think I've heard of it though. Oh, that fuck ass film. Yeah, the one with the weird, bug-eyed look. I don't think I can watch it because she looks creepy as fuck. Right? Like most movies kind of suck. They do. Okay. I feel like um credentials. I literally went to school to study film, like film production and making movies. That's what I have my degree in. And I can agree that most movies, especially nowadays, I don't get me started on the state of the sequel and the remake industry. Jesus Christ. My shit pisses me the fuck off. Oh, anyways, most movies kind of are meh. And I'm like, I have my favorite films. I have my top fives. I think half of those are musicals because I fucking love musicals. Um, but like, there's so many movies at this point that I'm like, it feels very like the main character is so generic that I'm bored. But at the same time, media literacy is fucking dead. And so if you want to even make a character that is like flawed and interesting and has like more depth to it, people are not the general public won't like it. And that's just so frustrating as a filmmaker to like Jesus fucking Christ. I have been trying to pitch um this one idea that I have to producers for literally months. But it is I keep running into the same issue of they're like, oh well, you're essentially like you're the main character is not like perfect. And I'm like, that's the fucking point. The whole point is that she's fucked up. That's the journey that you're going on. I don't know. Frieren is one of the best animes of all time. I agree. It is stunning. Also, Violet Evergarden. Is that is that the right one I'm thinking of? Violet Evergarden. It's Violet something. Yeah, Violet Evergarden. Oh, it's so pretty. And also, oh, that shit hurt. All movies. Oh God, Cats 2019. I have a wild relationship with that film because I've never watched it, and the only content I've consumed of that movie has been from this one YouTube channel that talks about that movie a lot, just in their other videos, and it's a whole bit. And it Cats 2019 makes me laugh my ass off, and I can never explain to someone why because it is a bit within a bit in a completely different YouTubers community. Like, sad anime. I love just sitting there crying and watching anime. I kind of same, but I don't want to do it alone, is my issue. I would rather do that with someone so that I'm not just like alone crying in my room at 4 a.m. and then have a mental breakdown. Because that's gonna happen, you know? Like Frieren is one of those that is I do not want to think about my mortality. Thank you. Even though I do want to, but I don't want to. Not alone. Crash 2019 a shit movie. Eh. And then they make music and Lana says no. So the channel that I'm talking about has nothing to do with like movies or anything like that at all. It is it's an art channel. They do art challenges. I love them. It's the Drawfee Show. Fucking adore those guys. I've been watching them for maybe a decade or more. They were just kind of mildly obsessed with Cats 2019. And it wasn't like they were drawing it or anything. They just would bring it up in their movies, in their videos a lot, and it would make me laugh every single time. Oh my god. It's been almost an hour. I haven't even finished a page. Getting me started on movies is like the best slash worst thing because I have so many opinions on so many things. What to your eternity? I've had that recommended to me before. Let me look it up again. There's so my favorite interesting. Yeah. My favorite there okay. There is this anime that is a yaoi kind of romance movie that is literally one of the most beautiful stories I have experienced. It's just sweet. There's something about it that like really got me. Um and I always want to recommend it to people, but the animation is like not the best. But there's a charm to it. It's so cute. But now I've reached a point where I'm like trying to think of it. I was like, what the fuck was the name? One of my three favorite shows of all time. Damn. Hey, look. Friendship. Clannad. If you ever feel like. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like watching sad things. Like I really, when I was in university and I was making a lot of short films and stuff, one of my biggest like motivators and like what I would say would be like my personal style when it comes to films was that I refused to make sad films, at least sad endings. It's like I'm sick and tired. Like in my life, I feel like I've seen so many movies that have just been sad for the sake of being sad. Where sometimes there's been endings where I've been like, that wasn't necessary. You could have just had a happy ending. Like it was just sad for the sake of being sad. And I don't like it. So I was like determined to give everybody happy endings. Okay. Need to back to reading. I need to clear my throat. Okay. So I feel like I need to restart at this point because what the fuck did we be doing? What were we reading again? Um, Damn it, now I'm hungry. Guys, you've woken me up. I'm not sleepy anymore, so now I'm hungry. Do I have snack in my room? I don't think so. Never mind. You're making me so sleepy. Well, it is bedtime. It is quite late. um, so a middle with a middle finger six. Shut up. I will. I'm to. Okay, okay. We're in. Okay. So, Sherlock came to visit Watson at 12 a.m. That's where we're at. And they're being gay. Da-da-da-da-da-da. There we go. Hmm. I handed him my pouch, and he seated himself opposite to me and smoked for some time in silence. I was well aware that nothing but business of importance would have brought him to me at such an hour, so I waited patiently until he should come round to it. I see that you are professionally rather busy just now, said he, glancing very keenly across at me. Yes, I've had a busy day, I answered. It may seem very foolish in your eyes, I added, but really I don't know how you deduced it. Very dark. It... Oh, you talk about Pokemon? Okay. I was like, what is happening in chat? Because that's just random letters at this point to me. Sure. I'll go back to the Black Tunas log this week. I'm gonna try and make a schedule for more tonight. Right. Holmes chuckled to himself. I have the advantage of knowing your habits, my dear Watson, said he. When your round is a short one, you walk, and when it is a long one, you use a hansom. As I perceive that your boots already, although used, are by no means dirty, I cannot doubt that you are at present busy enough to justify the hansom. Excellent, I cried. Elementary, said he. It is one of those instances where the reasoner can produce an effect which seems remarkable to his neighbour, because the latter has missed the one little point which is the basis of deduction. The same may be said, my dear fellow, for the effect of some of these little sketches of yours, which is entirely meretricious, depending as it does upon your retaining in your own hands some factors in the problem which are never imparted to the reader. Now, At present, I am in the position of these same readers, for I hold in his hand several threads of one of the strangest cases which have ever perplexed a man's brain. And yet, I lack the one or two which are needful to complete my theory. But I'll have them, Watson. I'll have them. His eyes kindled, and a slight flush sprung to his thin cheeks. For an instant the veil had lifted upon his keen, intense nature, but for an instant only. When I glanced again, his face had resumed the red Indian composure which had made so many regard him as a machine rather than a man. The problem presents features of interest, said he. I may say exceptional features of interest. I have already looked into the matter, and have come, as I think, within sight of my solution. If you could accompany me in that last step, you may be of considerable service to me. What is... Okay. Wow, they're so gay. Exactly. I'm fucking telling you. The fact that John Watson got a wife is insane to me. I should be delighted. Could you go as far as Aldershot tomorrow? I have no doubt Jackson would take my practice. Very good. I want to start by the 11:10 from Waterloo. That would give me time. Then, if you are not too sleepy, I will give you a sketch of what has happened and of what remains to be done. I was sleepy before you came. I am quite wakeful now. It's so gay. This shit is so fucking gay. I'm gonna use that line on people. Imagine his wife knows and that she has a personal maid as well. Wait, wait, that's so good. Watson's in a lavender marriage. That's perfect. Okay. I will compress the story as far as may be done without omitting anything vital to the case. It is conceivable that you may have read some account of the matter. It is the supposed murder of the Colonel Barclay of the Royal Monsters at Aldershot, which I am investigating. I have heard nothing of it. It has not excited much attention yet, except locally. The facts are only 2 days old. Briefly, they are these. The Royal Monsters is, as you know, one of the most famous Irish regiments in the British Army. It did wonders in both the Crimea and the Mutiny, and has since that time distinguished itself upon every possible equation. Equation? No. Occasion. It was commanded up to Monday night by James Barclay, a gallant veteran who started as a full private, but was raised to commissioned rank for his bravery at the time of the Mutiny, and so lived to command the regiment in which he had once carried a musket. I'm just listen. There are certain things you gotta just not question. I'm just not questioning some stuff. Yeah, yeah. It's the British. Ha 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 ha. Colonel Barclay had married at the time when he was a sergeant, and his wife, whose maiden name was Miss Nancy Devoy, was the daughter of a former colour sergeant of the same corps. There was, therefore, as can be imagined, some little social friction when the young couple, they were still young, found themselves in their new surroundings. They appear, however, to have quickly adapted themselves, and Mrs. Barclay has always, I understand, been as popular with the ladies of the regiment as her husband was with his brother officers. I may add that she was a woman of great beauty, and that even now, when she has been married for upwards of 30 years, she is still of a striking and queenly appearance. Colonel Barclay's family life appears to have been a uniformly happy one. Major Murphy, to whom I owe most of my facts, assures me that he has never heard of any misunderstandings between the pair. On the whole, he thinks that Barclay's devotion to his wife was greater than his wife's to Barclay. He was acutely uneasy if he were absent from her for a day. She, on the other hand, though devoted and faithful, was less obtrusively affectionate. But they were regarded in the regiment as the very model of a middle-aged couple. There was absolutely nothing in their mutual relations to prepare people for the tragedy which was to follow. Colonel Barclay himself seems to have had some singular traits in his character. He was a dashing, jovial old soldier in his usual mood, but there were occasions on which he seemed to show himself capable of considerable violence and vindictiveness. This side of his nature, however, appears to never have been turned towards his wife. Another fact, which had struck Major Murphy and 3 out of 5 of the other officers with whom I conversed, was the singular sort of depression which came upon him at times. Hi, Dino. Welcome in for the welcome. What? Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. They're simping for Bro's wife. I think Bro's wife is dead. I think she's dead. Okay. As the Major expressed it, the smile had often been struck from his mouth, as if by some invisible hand, when he has been joining the gaieties and chaff of the mess table. For days on end, when the mood was on him, he had been sunk in the deepest gloom. This and a certain tinge of superstition were the only unusual traits in his character, which his brother officers had observed. The latter peculiarity took the form of a dislike to being left alone, especially after dark. This puerile feature in a nature which was conspicuously manly had often given rise to comment and conjecture. It's kind of crazy how different it is to be British today compared to the 1800s. Like, I'm 1800s British. Oh, good heavens, my good sir. Well, currently British means bug and put a shithole in it. Okay, as someone who has lived there, that's not the only accent that exists. But yeah. But yeah. The evolution of the British accent has been slightly fucking insane. um like Cherry put on a fake posh accent while in the UK. No, the fuck I didn't. I absolutely would not do anything like that. I used to have people when I was in England asking me if I was from America all of the time. Right? Anyways, let's like I want to finish this page before we get another ad break. So, the 1st Battalion of the Royal Monsters, which is the old 117th, has been stationed at Aldershot for some years. The married officers live out of barracks, and the colonel has during all this time occupied a villa called the Sheen, about half a mile from the North Camp. The house stands on its own grounds, but the west side of it is not more than 30 yards from the high road. A coachman and the 2 maids form the staff of servants. These, with their master and mistress, were the sole occupants of Lachine, for the Barclays had no children, nor was it unusual for them to have resident visitors, nor was it usual. Getting asked if I'm. Thank you, Agadoo. I love getting asked if I'm American when I'm traveling and being like, haha, no, don't group me with those dumbasses, I'm Canadian. Fair enough. Now, thank you for the head pat. Now, for the events at Lachine between 9 and 10 on the evening of last Monday. Mrs. Barclay was, as it appears, a member of the Roman Catholic Church and had interested herself very much in the establishment of the Guild of St. George, which was formed in connection with the Watt Street Chapel for the purpose of supplying the poor with cast-off clothing. A meeting of the guild had been held that evening at 8, and Mrs. Barclay had hurried over her dinner in order to be present at it. When leaving the house, she was heard by the coachman to make some commonplace remark to her husband and to assure him that she would be back before very long. She then called for Miss Morrison, a young lady who lives in the next villa, and the two went off together to their meeting. It lasted 40 minutes, and at 9:15 Mrs. Barclay returned home, having left Miss Morrison at her door as she passed. There is a room which is used as a morning room at Lachine. This faces the road and opens by a large glass folding door to the lawn. The lawn is 30 yards across and is only divided from the highway by a low wall with an iron rail above it. It was into this room that Mrs. Barclay went upon her return. The blinds were not down, for the room was seldom used in the evening, but Mrs. Barclay herself lit the lamp and then rang the bell, asking Jane Stewart, the housemaid, to bring her a cup of tea, which was quite contrary to her usual habits. The Colonel had been sitting in the dining room, but hearing that his wife had returned, he joined her in the morning room. The coachman saw him cross the hall and enter it. He was never seen alive again. What the fuck? Welcome back. Oh, why do I not have any snacks? I usually try to have like biscuits or something, but I have none today. Asking a maid is abnormal. I think it's specifically asking for the tea at like night that was abnormal. And also, like, she might have killed her husband, so something was up. Nose is itchy. Okay. The tea which had been ordered was brought up at the end of 10 minutes, but the maid, as she approached the door, was surprised to hear the voices of her master and mistress in furious altercation. Hi! Hello! Oh my god! Hi! Welcome, welcome, raiders! Thank you so much for the raid! Welcome, welcome! And thank you for the follow, Fruit Casket. I appreciate it. I hope you guys are having a good stream. God. Be normal. Hi. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. How was your stream? Did you guys have a good time? Oh, Agatha. You. God. Hi. Hello. I'm a little guy now. Let me be normal. I was trying to be normal. You're doing reading ASMR too? Ooh, what were you guys reading? I am stuck in this form now, yippee. But I really much appreciate it. Oh my god. I think we're in ad break as well, Jesus. Oh my gosh. House of Hollow. Ooh, a dark fairy tale. Sounds very fun. I might have to look into that. I'm trying to find new things to read as well. Just like on my own time. Love fairy tales. It's such a good time. Yeah, I hope your stream went well, and thank you again so much for the raid. I really appreciate it. ghost VTubers that's on brand? Hell yeah. That's awesome. It's lovely to meet you as well. And if you need to raid and run, that is completely understandable. But hey, thank you for trusting your community with me. I really appreciate it. We have been here reading Sherlock Holmes today. There's been more yapping than reading because these mans are definitely gay. But yes, I am reading the memoirs of Sherlock Holmes, the short stories, which is always a good time and good for stream as well. I love Sherlock. I love puzzles. I love mysteries. So it's like perfect. Perfect. Gnomes are so gay. It's amazing. Yeah, definitely. Like the way Watson talks about Holmes is so gay. Chad and I were discussing how Watson and his wife are 100% in lavender marriage. Let's be real. Most of the conversations usually get derailed. Yeah. I'm glad we have more people that agree with this. It's a good time. And I wish I could read like Nancy Drew on stream, but I don't think so. Oh my god, so much fairy dust being spread around. Hope you guys enjoy it. Okay. Um, well, for a slight recap on the story, Holmes has showed up at Watson's house at 12 a.m. and what's it? They are recapping the thing, the case. Some dude has been murdered, potentially by his wife, and apparently they were very in love, so it's unusual that he's dead. Hi, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome. Oh my god. Oh yeah, we hit the follower goal too. That's so sweet. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. I will try to get back into reading and not get too distracted this time. Night night. I hope you get some very good rest, and thank you again for the raid. I appreciate it. Small miracles here and there. Alright. The tea which had been ordered was brought up at the end of 10 minutes, but the maid, as she approached the door, was surprised to hear the voices of her master and mistress in furious altercation. She knocked without receiving an answer, and even turned the handle, but only to find out that the door was locked upon the inside. Naturally enough, she ran down to tell the cook, and the two women, with the coachman, came up into the hall and listened to the dispute which was still raging. They all agreed that only two voices were to be heard, those of Barclay and of his wife. Barclay's remarks were subdued and abrupt, so that none of them were audible to the listener. The lady's, on the other hand, were more bitter, and when she raised her voice could be plainly heard. "You coward," she repeated over and over. "What can be done now? What can be done now? Give me back my life. I will never so much as breathe the same air as you again. You coward, coward." Oh no. Those were scraps of her conversation, ending in a sudden dreadful cry in the man's voice. With a crash and a piercing scream from the woman, convinced that some tragedy had occurred, the coachman rushed at the door and strove to force it, while scream after scream issued from within. He was unable, however, to make his way in, and the maids were too distracted with fear to be of any assistance to him. A sudden thought struck him, however, and he ran through the hall door and round to the lawn open with the long French windows. One side of the window was open, which I understand was quite unusual in the summer time, and he passed without difficulty into the room. His mistress had ceased to scream and was stretched insensible upon a couch, while with his feet tilted over the side of an armchair and his head upon the ground near the corner in the fender was lying the unfortunate soldier stone dead in a pool of his own blood. Hi, hi, hi. Thank you for the follow, Simon. And thank you for the follow, Thermal. Welcome in, guys. Welcome. Thank you for the hydrate. Mm. The I'm sorry, I got distracted. I keep having to clear my throat a lot today. I'm not sure why. Oh, sorry. There's a fly in my face. Okay, okay. Distracted by how gay these fools are. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just thinking about them, you know? Oh my gosh. So, there we go. Right. Naturally, the coachman's first thought, on finding that he could do nothing for his master, was to open the door. But here an unexpected and singular difficulty presented itself. The key was not in the inner side of the door, nor could he find it anywhere in the room. He went out again, therefore, through the window, and having obtained the help of a policeman and of a medical man, he returned. The lady, against whom naturally the strongest suspicion rested, was removed to her room, still in a state of insensibility. The colonel's body was then placed upon the sofa, and a careful examination made of the scene of the tragedy. The injury from the unfortunate veteran was suffering from was found to be a jagged cut, some 2 inches long at the back part of his head, which had evidently been caused by a violent blow from a blunt weapon. Nor was it difficult to guess what that weapon might have been. Upon the floor, close to the body, was lying a singular club of a hard carved wood with a bone handle. The colonel possessed a varied collection of weapons brought from the different countries in which he had fought, and it is conjectured by the police that this club was amongst his trophies. The servants deny having seen it before, but among the numerous curiosities in the house it is possible that it may have been overlooked. Nothing else of importance was discovered in the room by the police, save the inexplicable fact that neither upon Mrs. Barclay's person, nor upon that of the victim, nor any part of the room, was the missing key to be found. The door had eventually to be opened by a locksmith from Aldershot. So this is for sure someone came in through the window, relocked the door, and tried to kill the guy, right? Like, it's not the wife. Someone else had it out for him for some reason, and she found out about it. No. There we go. That was the state of things, Watson, when upon the Tuesday morning I, at the request of Major Murphy, went down to Aldershot to supply the efforts of the police. I'm still betting on my lesbian theory. We'll find out. I mean, they didn't have children after all these years of marriage, so it is a bit sus. I think you will acknowledge that the problem was already one of interest, but my observations soon made me realize that it was in truth much more extraordinary than would the first sight appear. I fucked up that sentence so bad. Holy shit. My observations soon made me realize that it was in truth much more extraordinary than would at first sight appear. There we go. Before examining the room, I cross-questioned the servant, but only succeeded in eliciting the facts which I have already stated. One other detail of interest was remembered by Jane Stewart, the housemaid. You will remember that on hearing the sound of the quarrel, she descended and returned with the other servants. On that first occasion, when she was alone, she says that the voices of her master and mistress were sunk so low that she could hardly hear anything, and judged by their tones rather than their voices that they had fallen out. On my pressing her, however, she remembered that she heard the word David uttered twice by the lady. The point is of the utmost importance as guiding us towards the reason of the sudden quarrel. The colonel's name, you remember, was James. There was one thing in the case which had made the deepest impression upon both the servants and the police. This was the contortion of the colonel's face. It had set, according to their account, into the most dreadful expression of fear and horror which a human countenance is capable of assuming. More than one person fainted at the mere sight of him. So terrible was that effect. It is quite certain that he had foreseen this fate, and that it had caused him the utmost horror. This, of course, fitted in well enough with the police theory if the colonel could have seen his wife making a murderous attack upon him. Nor was the fact of the wound being on the back of his head a fatal objection to this, as he might have turned to avoid the blow. No information could be got from the lady herself, who was temporarily insane from an acute attack of brain fever. The fuck is brain fever? Like, is that not just a normal fever? Brain fever is like madness? That would make sense, yeah. We're talking about autism. You can't be, you can't suddenly develop autism, you know? That's not like, that doesn't just happen like that. Alright. From the police, I learned that Miss Morrison, whom you remember went out that evening with Mrs. Barclay, denied having any knowledge which it was of what it was which had caused the ill humor in which her companion had returned. Oh my god. Let him make that money, bro. He's making, getting that bag and shit. I, I do be doing a little. I'm so sorry. Uh-huh. That sure is a thing to say. I sure be doing a little autism sometimes. You need to check chat after you finish a page instead of mid-page. Listen, one page is long because it's like, you know, I can't not check chat for that long. I'm curious what you guys are saying. I wanna know. Okay. This book going to be a year long. Oh, we get through a story a stream. Sometimes two. It's fine. um, there we go. Hi. Thank you so much for the follow, Angu. Welcome in, welcome in. I appreciate it. Alright. So, having gathered the had I can't fucking speak today. Having gathered these facts, Watson, I smoked several pipes over them, trying to separate those which were crucial from others which were merely incidental. There could be no question that the most distinctive and suggestive point in the case was the singular disappearance of the door key. A most careful search had failed to discover it in the room. Therefore, it must have been taken from it. But neither the colonel nor the colonel's wife could have taken it. That was perfectly clear. Therefore, a third person must have entered the room, and that third person could only have come in through the window. It seemed to me that a careful examination of the room and the lawn might possibly reveal some traces of this mysterious individual. You know my methods, Watson. There was not one of them which I did not apply to the inquiry, and it ended by my discovering traces, but very different from ones from those which I had expected. Wait, you might be onto something. You might actually be onto something there. Shit, I lost my paragraph. Uh, there. There had been a man in the room, and he had crossed the lawn coming from the road. I was able to obtain 5 very clear impressions of his footmarks, one in the roadway itself, and at the point where he had climbed the low wall, 2 on the lawn, and 2 very faint ones upon the stained boards near the window where he had entered. He had apparently rushed across the lawn, for his toe marks were much deeper than his heels. But it was not a man who surprised me. It was his companion. His companion? Holmes pulled a large sheet of tissue paper out on his pocket and carefully unfolded it upon his knee. "What do you make of that?" he asked. The paper was covered with the tracings of the footmarks of some small animal. It had 5 well-marked footpads, an indication of long nails, and the whole print might be nearly as large as a desert spoon. "It is a dog," said I. "Did you ever hear of a dog running up a curtain? I found distinct traces that this creature had done so." "A monkey, then?" "But it is not the print of a monkey." "What can it be?" "Neither dog, nor cat, nor monkey, nor any creature that we are familiar with. I have tried to reconstruct it from the measurements. Here are 4 prints which the beast has been standing motionless. You see that it is no different than 15 inches from forefoot to hind. Add to that length of neck and head, and you probably get a creature not much less than 2 feet long, probably more if there is any tail. But now I observe this other measurement. The animal has been moving, and we have the length of its stride. In each case it is only about 3 inches. You have an indication, you see, of a long body with very short legs attached to it. It has not been considerate enough to leave any of its hair behind, but its general shape must be what I have indicated, and it can run up a curtain, and it is carnivorous." Oh my god. The marshmallows had gone, friend. No more marshmallow. No more marshmallow. People ask me why I work on the weekend. Do people in your country not work weekends? Mm, I'm not surprised by it, but I used to work hospitality, so like, I'm used to fuck ass hours of working. um, how can you deduce that? Because it ran up the curtain. The canary's cage was hanging in the window, and its aim seems to have been to get the bird. Then what was the beast? Ah, if I could give it a name, it might go a long way to solving the case. On the whole, it was probably some creature of the weasel and stoat tribe, yet it is larger than any of these that I have yet seen. But what had it to do with the crime? That also is still obscure. But we have learned a good deal, you perceive. We know that a man stood in the road looking at the quarrel between the Barclays. The blinds were up and the room lighted. We know also that he ran across the lawn, entered the room, accompanied by a strange animal, and that he either struck the colonel, or, as is equally possible, that the colonel fell down from sheer fright at the sight of him, and cut his head on the corner of the fender. Finally, we have the curious fact that the intruder carried away the key with him when he left. Big stretch. Your discoveries seem to have left the business more obscure than it was before, said I. Quite so. They undoubtedly showed the affair was much deeper than it was first conjectured. I thought the matter over, and I came to the conclusion that I must approach the case from another aspect. But really, Watson, I am keeping you up, and I might not, and I might just as well tell you all this on our way to Aldershot tomorrow. Hey, thank you, friend. How dare you stretch without someone redeeming stretch? Hey, I gotta look after myself, okay? You guys want me to just be shrimp posture all the time, huh? Oh God. Thank you for the hydrate. Mm. Oh my God. Okay. Another big stretch coming. Oh, that's good shit. It is quite certain that when Mrs. Barclay left the house at 7:30, she was on good terms with her husband. She was never, as I think I have said, ostentatiously Why have I been made to suffer? Oh God, that's the wrong button. That's still the wrong button. Where's chat? There it is. Oh, okay. Anyways, this is fine. Cat, I'm not a cat. This is not a cat. What about this is no. You can't redeem white square over the guy. The redeems don't work over the little guy. So, ha. So glad about the rage bait working. Fuck you, IDK. Also, hi, welcome in. I'm gonna kill you. I'll give you pets. Uh huh, uh huh. Um. I'm not a rat either. Anyways, back to reading. Screw all of you. Okay. Where the fuck was I? There we go. I'm just gonna restart that paragraph. You're not on the border, IDK. You are not on the border. Um, it is quite certain that when Mrs. Barclay left the house at 7:30, she was on good terms with her husband. She was never, as I think I have said, ostentatiously affectionate, but she was heard by the coachman chatting with the colonel in a friendly fashion. Now, it was equally certain that immediately on her return, she had gone to the room in which she was least likely to see her husband, had flown to tea as an agitated woman will, and finally, on his coming into her, had broken into violent recriminations. Therefore, something had occurred between 7:30 and 9 o'clock, which had completely altered her feelings towards him. I forgot to set a timer. But Miss Morrison had been with her during the whole of that hour and a half. It was absolutely certain, therefore, in spite of her denial, that she must know something of the matter. My first conjecture was that possibly there had been some passages between this young lady and the old soldier, which the former had now confessed to the wife. That would account for the angry return, and also for the girl's denial that anything had occurred. Nor would it be entirely incompatible with the most of the words overheard. But there was the reference to David, and there was the known affection of the colonel for his wife to weigh against it, to say nothing of the tragic intrusion of this other man, which might, of course, be entirely disconnected with what had gone on before. It was not easy to pick one's steps, but on the whole, I was inclined to dismiss the idea that there had been anything between the colonel and Miss Morrison, but more than ever convinced that the young lady held the clues to what it was which had turned Mrs. Barclay to the hatred of her husband. I took the obvious course, therefore, of calling upon Mrs. M., of explaining to her that I was perfectly certain that she held the facts in her possession, and of assuring her that her friend, Mrs. Barclay, might find herself in the dock upon a capital charge unless the matter was cleared up. What the I try to read one paragraph and I look at chat and you're talking about femboys. Why are we talking about femboys? What the fuck? Oh, friend. Oh my god. Okay, I give up. Y'all have fun. Oh. Sherry, am I dead or on the safe side? You're fucking dead, bro. When I catch you, IDK. When I catch you. Ask Splinter Bro's trying to rope me into his delusions. Femboys are cute. Can agree with you on that, friend. Hmm. You came back to femboys. That is the perfect thing to come back to, Agadoo. The fucking, what was I gonna say about femboys? Yeah, I like my men feminine and my women masculine. That is like literally my type. Right, well, how you doing? Hi, Q. Hi, I hope you're doing well. I'm doing good. We're doing an early morning stream for once. Hope you've been good. What is happening? What is happening? Hello? Guys, embarrassing me in front of my friends for real. I'm just gonna read. I'm just gonna read. Okay. Miss Morrison is a little ethereal slip of a girl with timid eyes and blonde hair, but I found her by no means wanting in shrewdness and common sense. Thank you for the bits, IDK. I appreciate it. She sat thinking for some time after I had spoken, and then, turning to me with a brisk air of resolution, she broke into a remarkable statement which I will condense for your benefit. I promised my friend that I would say nothing of the matter, and a promise is a promise, said she, but if I can really help her with when so serious a charge is laid against her, and when her own mouth, poor darling, is closed by illness, then I think I am absolved from my promise. I will tell you exactly what happened upon Monday evening. I was finally able to stop by and say hi. It's been a while. It has been a while. But I appreciate it. I know you're pretty busy with your own stuff. That's no worries at all. Thank you for stopping by. We were returning from the Watt Street mission about 8:45. On our way, we had to pass through the Hudson Street, which is a very quiet thoroughfare. There is only one lamp in it, on the left-hand side, and as we approached this lamp, I saw a man coming towards us with his back very bent, and something like a box slung over one of his shoulders. He appeared to be deformed, for he carried out his head low and walked with his knees bent. We were passing him when he raised his face to look at us in the circle of light thrown by the lamp. Fish? Did fishing not work? Is it broken again? It did work. I was like, I don't think it's broken. Okay, it was working earlier. There you go. We were passing him when he raised his face to look at us in the circle of light thrown by the lamp. And as he did so, he stopped and screamed out in a dreadful voice, "My God, it's Nancy!" Mrs. Barclay turned as white as death, and would have fallen down had the dreadful-looking creature not got a hold of her. I was going to call for the police, but she, to my surprise, spoke quite civilly to the fellow. "I thought you had been dead this 30 years, Henry," she said in a shaking voice. "So I have," said he, and it was awful to hear the tones that he said it in. He had a very dark, fearsome face, and a gleam in his eyes that comes back to me in my dreams. His hair and whiskers were shot with grey, and his face was all crinkled and puckered like a withered apple. "Just walk on a little way, dear," said Mrs. Barclay. "I want to have a word with this man. There is nothing to be afraid of." She tried to speak boldly, but she was still deathly pale, and could hardly get her words out from the trembling of her lips. I did as she asked me, and they talked together for a few minutes. Then she came down the street, with her eyes blazing, and I saw the crippled wretch standing by the lamp-post and shaking his clenched fists in the air as if he were a man mad with rage. She never said a word until we were at the door here, when she took me by the hand and begged me to tell no one what had happened.
It's an old acquaintance of mine who has come down in the world, said she. When I promised her I would say nothing, she kissed me, and I have never seen her since. I have told you now the whole truth, and if I withheld it from the police, it is because I did not realize that then the danger in which my dear friend stood. I know that it can only be to her advantage that everything should be known. There was her statement, Watson, and to me, you can imagine, it was like a light on in a dark night. Everything which had been disconnected before began at once assume its true place, and I had the shadowy presentiment of the whole sequence of events. Oh, time is up for the marshmallow. Mhm. 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 I have set up raffle, yeah. You should be able to. Oh, fucking putti. I'm gonna fucking I'm gonna murder you guys. I'm gonna murder you guys. Everyone's dead here now. Everyone. Oh my god. This is torture. Hmm. Yeah, IDK, you're like super duper triple threat dead. I am not a rat. Stop calling me a rat. I'm not a rat. I'm a marshmallow. I'm fluffy. I'm just not a rat. Ah. Got too big for your boots. Anyways. Mm-mm. There was her statement, Watson, and to me, as you can imagine, it was like a light on in a dark night. Everything which had been disconnected before began to at once assume its true place, and I've had a shadowy presentiment of the whole sequence of events. My next step, obviously, was to find the man who had produced such a remarkable impression upon Mrs. Barclay. If he was still in Aldershot, it would not be a difficult matter. There are not such a very great number of civilians, and a deformed man was sure to have attracted attention. I spent a day in the search, and by evening, this very evening, Watson, I had run him down. The man's name is Henry Wood, and he lives in lodgings in the same street in which the ladies met him. He has only been 5 days in the place. In the character of a registration agent, I had a most interesting gossip with his landlady. The man is by trade a conjurer and a performer, going around the canteens after nightfall and giving a little entertainment at each. He carries some creature about him in that box, which the landlady seemed to be in considerable trepidation, for she had never seen such an animal like it. He uses it in some of his tricks, according to her account. So much the woman was able to tell me, and also that it was a wonder that the man lived, seeing how twisted he was, and that he spoke in a strange tongue sometimes, and that for the last 2 nights she had heard him groaning and weeping in his bedroom. He was all right, as far as money went, but in his deposit he had given her what looked like a bad florin. She showed it to me, Watson, and it was an Indian rupee.
Of course.
Us fucking Indian when it comes to the British. Oh no, Agadoo, no. So now, my dear fellow, you see exactly how we stand and why it is I want you. It is perfectly plain that after the ladies parted from this man that he followed them at a distance, and that he saw the quarrel between husband and wife through the window, that he rushed in, and the creature which he carried in his box got loose. That is all very certain, but he is the only person in the world who can tell us what exactly happened in that room. And you intend to ask him? Most certainly, but in the presence of a witness. And I am the witness, if you will be so good. If he can clear the matter up, well and good. If he refuses, we have no alternative but to apply for a warrant. I mean, yeah, what else kind of rupee is there? The Pakistani rupee exists too, you know. Indian rupee isn't the only one in the world. Also, why am I saying rupee? Like, I don't know how to actually pronounce it. It's rupee. Fucking white ass pronunciation of my own goddamn language. Wait, I'll do a boop for you. I'll do a boop. There you go. Giant hand to boop the snoot. There you are. There's a boop. Hi, Ham. Welcome. And also, hell yeah, dude. 10 stream streak. Nice, nice, nice. Alright. Stream has been torture. I am stuck in this form. They won't let me out of it. Help. Help. This is a cry for help. You got done with the movie? Hell yeah. Was it fun? I've watched that movie like years ago. It was amazing. Yeah, I went. We spent like half an hour talking about movies. Um, you may be sure that I took some precautions. I have one of my Baker Street boys mounting guard over him who would stick to him like a burr, go where he might. We might find him at Hudson Street tomorrow, Watson. And meanwhile, I should be the criminal if I kept you out of bed any longer. It was midday when we found ourselves at the scene of the tragedy, and, under my companion's guidance, we made our way at once to Hudson Street. In spite of his capacity for concealing his emotions, I could easily see that Holmes was in a state of suppressed excitement, while I myself was tingling with that half sporting, half intellectual pleasure which I have invariably experienced when I associated myself with him in his investigations. Like, come on, these bands are fucking gay. They're so fucking gay. What the hell? You're actually crying. Aw, Ham. I'm pretty sure I cried the first time I saw that movie as well, honestly. It was such a good film. And In this house, we love BL for real. This is the street, said he, as we turned into the short thoroughfare lined with plain two-storied brick houses. Ah, there is the Simpson to report. Oh my god! Hi, sailor. I hope you had a good movie night. Tee tee. Oh my god. The wait, I can do the thing. Wait, I can do the thing. Wait, I can do the thing. Tee. Then I need to do. Oh my god, why are fonts so annoying? Da, 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 da. There's why. Give me 2 seconds. I can't look at chat. I'm trying to do a thing. Ah, ah. I did it. I did it. Where's chat now? I've lost it. There we go. Ah, what's happened? Wait, what happened to Splinter? What do you say? Human on Noah. Yeah. I wanted to catch the first film, but I was not gonna be waking up at 7 a.m. That's expecting too much from me, sadly. Hi, Hitmanic. Welcome, welcome. Hi, hi, hi. You're now like, your sticky note is almost an airing. At this point, with the way the stream has gone, I'm not allowed to be human anymore, and I've given up. I don't think I'm gonna bother changing back because I don't trust you guys. And then I have to fiddle around with it every time to make him actually center himself on screen. So, but hi. I absolutely do not trust you, Ham. In the like nicest, loveliest way possible, I don't trust you. Ah, this has happened. The fact is, this isn't even the first thing that's happened. First time this has happened. Happened to me multiple times before. There's no shit looking for this mascot redeem last stream. I think last stream was when I turned it back on. Or I might have in between the last stream and this. Because I realized that I had it set up. I need to set it up properly so it changes back to my other model properly. Like automatically. Otherwise I have to do it manually. But that's a different problem. Yeah, you did redeem White Square before I was even there. It's a 3-minute redeem and we had 3 minutes of ads happening. And I was like, that's, you know, a complete waste of points, but I'm not gonna complain. Alright, wait, let's try to finish this story. Come on, we've got this. This is the street, said he, as we turned into the short thoroughfare lined with plain two-storied brick houses. Ah, here is Simpson to report. He's in all right, Mr. Holmes, cried a small street Arab running upon us. Good, Simpson, said Holmes, patting him on the head. Come along, Watson. This is the house. He sent in his card along He sent in his card with a message that he had come on important business, and a moment later we were face to face with the man whom we had come to see. In spite of the warm weather, he was crouching over a fire, and the little room was like an oven. The man sat all twisted and huddled in his chair in a way which gave an indescribably impression of deformity. But the face which he had turned towards us, the worn and swarthy, must at some point have been remarkable for its beauty. He looked a bit suspiciously at us now, out of yellow shot bilious eyes, and without speaking or rising, he waved towards two chairs. Mr. Henry Wood, late of India, I believe, said Holmes affably. I've come over this little matter of Colonel Berkeley's death. What should I know about that? That's what I want to ascertain. You know, I suppose that unless the matter is cleared up, Mr. Berkeley, who is an old friend of yours, will in all probability be tried for murder. Mrs. Berkeley, sorry. The man gave a violent start. I do not know who you are, he cried, nor how you come to know what you do know. But will you swear that it is true that you tell me? Why, they are only waiting for her to come to her senses to arrest her. My God, are you in the police yourself? No. What business is it of yours, then? It's every man's business to see justice done. You can take my word that she is innocent. Then you are guilty. No, I am not. Who killed Colonel James Berkeley, then? It was just a providence that killed him. But mind you this, that if I had knocked his brains out, as it was in my heart to do, he would have no more than his due from my hands. If his own guilty conscience had not struck him down, it is likely enough that I might have had his blood upon my soul. You want me to tell the story? Well, I don't know why I shouldn't, but there's no cause for me to be ashamed of it. It was in this way, sir. You see me now with my back like a camel and ribs all awry, but there was a time when Corporal Henry Wood was the smartest man in the 117th Foot. We were in India back then, in cantonments, at a place we'll call Burti. Barclay, who died the other day, was a sergeant in the same company as myself, and the belle of the regiment, and the finest girl that ever had the breath of life between her lips was Nancy Devoy, the daughter of the colour sergeant. There were two men that loved her, and one that she loved, and you'll smile when you look at the poor thing huddled before the fire, and hear me say that it was for my good looks that she loved me. Oh, no. The raffles are rigged, I think. I think he's rigged it, actually, Agadoo. You guys should try it. Well, though I had her heart, her father was set upon her marrying Barclay. I was a harum-scarum, reckless lad, and he had an education and was already marked for the sword belt, but the girl held true to me, and it seemed that I would have had her when the mutiny broke out and all hell was loose in the country. We were shut up in Burti, the regiments of us with half a battery of artillery, a company of Sikhs, and a lot of civilian and women folk. There were 10,000 rebels round us, and they were as keen as a set of terriers round a rat cage. About the second week of it, our water gave out, and it was a question whether we could communicate with General Neal's column, which was moving up the country. It was our only chance, for we could not hope to fight our way out with all the women and children, so I volunteered to go out and warn General Neal of our danger. My offer was accepted, and I talked it over with the Sergeant Barclay, who was supposed to know the ground better than any other man, and who drew up a route by which I might get through the rebel lines. At 10 o'clock the same night, I started off upon my journey. There were 1,000 lives to save, but it was of only one that I was thinking when I dropped over the wall that night. My way ran down a dried-up watercourse, which we hoped would screen me from my enemy's sentries, but as I crept round the corner of it, I walked right into 6 of them, who were crouching down in the dark waiting for me. In an instant I was stunned with a blow and bound hand and foot. but the real blow was to my heart and not to my head. For as I came to and listened to as much as I could understand of their talk, I heard enough to tell me that my comrade, the very man who had arranged the way that I was to take, had betrayed me by means of a native servant into the hands of the enemy. Well, there's no need for me to dwell on that part of it. You know now what James Barclay was capable of. Ruthie was relieved by Neil the next day, but the rebels took me away with them in their retreat, and it was many a long year before I ever saw a white face again. I was tortured and tried to get away, and was captured and tortured again. You can see for yourselves the state in which I was left. Some of them that fled to Nepal took me with them, and then afterwards I was up past Darjeeling. The hill folk up there murdered the rebels who had me, and I became their slave for a time until I escaped. But instead of going to the south, I had to go north until I found myself among the Afghans. There I wandered about for many a year, and at last came back to the Punjab, where I lived mostly amongst the natives, and picked up a living by the conjuring tricks I had learned. What use was it for me, a wretched cripple, to go back to England, or to make myself known to my old comrades? Even my wish for revenge would not make me do that. I had rather that Nancy and my old pals should think of Harry Wood as having died with a straight back, than see him living and crawling with a stick like a chimpanzee. They never doubted that I was dead, and that I meant that they never should. I heard that Barclay had married Nancy, and that he was rising rapidly in the regiment, but never even that did not make me speak. But when one gets old, one has a longing for home. For years I've been dreaming of the bright green fields and the hedges of England. At last I determined to see them before I died. I saved enough to bring me across, and then I came here where the soldiers are, for I know their ways and how to amuse them and earn enough to keep me. Your narrative is most interesting, said Sherlock Holmes. I have already heard of your meeting with Mrs. Barclay and your mutual recognition. You guys having fun there? Yeah. You then, as I understand, followed her home and saw through the window an altercation between her husband and her, in which she doubtless cast his conduct to you in his teeth. Your own feelings overcame you, and you ran across the lawn and broke upon them. I did, sir, and at the sight of me he looked as I have never seen a man look before, and over he went with his head on the fender. But he was dead before he fell. I read death on his face as plain as I can read that text over the fire. The bare sight of me was like a bullet through his guilty heart. The second one of your ASMR. You're having fun? Second one of your ASMR streams? Hell yeah. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Even though it's a bit of a chaotic one. Mm. And then, and then Nancy fainted, and I caught up the key of the door from her hand, intending to unlock it and get help. But as I was doing it, it seemed to me the better to leave it alone and get away, for the thing might look black against me. And in any way my secret would be out if I were taken. In my haste, I thrust the key into my pocket and dropped my stick while I was chasing Teddy, who had run up the curtain. When I got into this box, when I got him into his box from which he had slipped, I was off as fast as I could run. Who's Teddy? Asked Holmes. The man leaned over and pulled up the front of a kind of hutch in the corner. In an instant, out there slipped a beautiful reddish-brown creature, thin and lithe, with legs of a stoat, a long thin nose, and a pair of the finest red eyes that I have ever seen in an animal's head. It's a mongoose, I cried. Thank you for the stretch, Taku. Ah, Freedom has never tasted so good. Well, some call them that, and some call them a word I'm not even going to try to pronounce, said the man. Snake catcher is what I call them, and Teddy is amazing quick on cobras. I have one here without the fangs, and Teddy catches it every night to please the folk in the canteen. Any other point, sir? Well, we may have to apply to you again if Mrs. Barclay could prove to be in serious trouble. In that case, of course, I'd come forward. But if not, there is no object in breaking up this scandal against a dead man, foully as he has acted. You have at least the satisfaction of knowing that for 30 years of his life his conscience bitterly reproached him for this wicked deed. Ah, there goes Major Murphy on the side of the street. Goodbye, Wood. I want to learn if anything has happened since yesterday. We were in time to overtake the Major before he reached the corner. Ah, Holmes, he said, I suppose you have heard that all this fuss has come to nothing. What then? The inquest is just over. The medical evidence showed conclusively that death was due to apoplexy. You see, it was quite a simple case after all. Ah, remarkably superficial, said Holmes, smiling. Come, Watson, I don't think we shall be wanted in Aldershot any more. There's one thing, said I, as we walked down to the station. If the husband's name was James, and the other was Henry, what was this talk about David? That one word, my dear Watson, should have told me the whole story had I been the ideal reasoner which you are so fond of depicting. It was evidently a term of reproach. Of reproach? Yes. David strayed a little occasionally, you know, and on one occasion in the same direction as Sergeant James Barclay. You remember the small affair of Uriah and Bathsheba? My biblical knowledge is a trifle rusty, I fear you. I fear, but you will find the story in the first or second of Samuel. Oh, like a religious thing. Okay. Oh my god. What is happening? Okay, it's mostly just Wordle. You should join the Discord, Splinter. You don't have to be super active on it, but I think it'll be fun. It's a good time. Great fingers. But hey, we finished the story. Yay! Discord gets chaotic. It does. I like it. It's fun. Mm. Ow, my back. There is a bot command for Discord. I don't know why it didn't work for you. It should. Unless I fucked up the settings. Definitely not gonna do something possibly vengeful. What? There's very little you could do considering this model's redeems don't work. Yeah. I don't think he misspelled it. No, he spelled it correctly. Also, most of the time it's us making sure Jerry sleeps. I don't. I mean, I get you're not wrong, but like, I'm not that difficult. I swear. Lots of talk about art. Flower King mistake. To be fair, I think I should take another nap today because I'm getting like Sniffly.
I cannot afford to get sick right now, so I need to rest. I have so much work to do. Never make spelling mistake. I I am good at spelling, but when I'm typing very quickly, oh boy. But that's our story for the night. Yay! Oh my god, my back. Oh, I'm slipping. I'm slipping down my chair. Fine, I'm alive. This is fun. How do we feel about the morning streams, huh? Well, it's midnight for you guys mostly, but you know. Ow. Uh, cause, cause I'm thinking of having this be my ASMR time, and then if I want to do games, that's gonna be like later in the day. You have a great voice, Drift off to thank you. I appreciate that. It's a funny thing to me is like um a few years ago when I was working at a bar, one of my managers at one point told me like I said him and I were like pretty good friends and got along very well. And at one point he was just like, "Oh, like you do like podcasts and stuff?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "You should do. You have a really nice voice." And I was like, "Oh." And that's when I was like, maybe, maybe I should do something with my voice. I'm glad you guys like it. I'm really glad. That makes me very happy. A bar? Yeah, I worked at a pub for like 9 months, and then I worked at a cafe and bar for about a year before I moved back home. This was when I was in England. Is anyone that I follow streaming? Worked in several pubs. In the kitchen, I assume? The kitchen staff versus bar staff, like, communication and beef used to be so funny. I miss it. And then I missed the, like, one time of year we would all go out and get shit faced together. Work in a coat check for a year and now you work in fast food. Oh my god. That's insane. That's a long time as well. Thanks for the hydrate. Oh no. Oh no. Splinter. No. Stop it. No. I don't even think I have that much water in my bottle left. How many points do you have? Oh my god. Oh god. You do have. Oh, I. Okay. I'm dead. I'm gonna die, actually. This is fine. Okay. Lots of water time. Uh, that's too much water. Oh my god. I haven't had anything to eat since I've been up as well, so my stomach is just water now. Mm. Uh, 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 Oh my god, Splinter. Thank you for the head pats, Manic. I appreciate someone's nice. Why? Why are you guys like this? Oh. Mm. It is very painful. There's too much water. It's making me nauseous. Feed the flower. I need to get food, but I don't have breakfast. I never eat breakfast, so I need to like figure out what I can eat before lunch. Uh, for context, it's I can't eat bread. Not bread. I can't eat egg and I can't have yogurt. So my breakfast options are usually very limited. Like healthy breakfast. Also fuck granola bars. I hate nuts. Mm, mm. This is killing me. Help. Help. Mm, mm. Oh, Dawn. No. Go away. Every hydrate is a sip, not a gulp. I don't do gulps. I don't think I know how to gulp. Horrible at collecting my fairy dust. Oh, Manic. To be fair, I've only done I've only set up it recently, so I think the most that someone has is 4. Dawn, you've cursed me. Oh god. I'm out of water. I don't want to get more water. There's too much water now. You can't even see the pain on my face because this guy is too happy looking. Ugh. I got through like half. Wait, what did we get? Are we at 20? Fuck. Fuck me. That's not great. Uh, this is fine. Mm-hmm. It sounds like 20 sips to me. Oh god. I refuse to refill my bottle, so you get as much water. I think it has been. It's not been 20, but it's been like 15 at least. I lost count. uh, oh my god. Flower cat. Yeah. Marshmallows don't do well with water. Exactly. You guys are like gonna disintegrate me. Mm. Okay. Shall we end stream? Or, you know, um, oh my god, okay. You're done with your 20 gulps, so how are you alive? Ugh. How is there like, someone must be doing ASMR from my following. Hmm. Yes, I'm leaving before they make me drink more water. Bro never chugged a water, but no, I literally, I don't think I'm capable of taking gulps. I take such tiny sips of things. I think I just have a small mouth or something. Hmm. So if you miss me, then you shouldn't have made me have 20 sips of water. Oh my god. Is it chugging beer? Ugh. I can barely sip beer. Ew. I cannot. Ow. Imagine chugging it. Ow. I should have taken my painkillers with one of those sips. Jesus. I'm in so much pain right now. Last sip of water so I can have some medicine. Fuck. Where'd it go? There it is. Yep. And then my water bottle is completely finished. Great. A little cold. My chest and I'm starting to sweat a lot. This was definitely a good idea. What the fuck? Ew, beer nasty. Agreed, agreed, agreed. I used to have a friend who really tried to get me into drinking beer. Because he was like crazy about it. And he made me try so many different types. And I was just like, they all taste like fucking wheat. It's just wheat. I don't know what to tell you, bro. It's like, no, but this has a fruity flavor to it. I'm like, no, the fuck it doesn't. It's just wheat. Oh my god. Why are you talking about freakiness? You're almost sorry for that? Oh, torturing me and enjoying it. Oh, that's a thing. I need to troubleshoot a lot of stuff today. That's fine. Oh, damn it. Why is he not doing ASMR right now? I wish we had Strongbow dark fruits in Canada only. Oh, Strongbow is good shit, man. Also, no, anyone who doesn't like beer doesn't have the palate of a child. I objectively don't have the palate of a child. I just don't like drinking wheat. If I'm gonna have a drink, I would rather it be a nice fruity cocktail or like a nice cider. Cider is delicious. Never had alcohol and you never will. Fair enough. You could rate. I think I know who you mean, Don. I do think I know who you're trying to say. Oh my god, Taku. People are allowed to not drink. That's fine. Pineapple mojitos. Oh, you're speaking my language. Strawberry mojitos? That shit fucking slap. Strawberry and vodka are like some of the best combinations of things possible. Ow. Wait, give me a sec. Sorry. I'm having horrible cramps, so I just need a second to deal with that. But hey, I still streamed for you guys. Tried my best today. Cause ow. Okay. Uh Thank you for the hep pads at Manic. Yeah, I just need like more painkillers and bed. Painkillers and bed is good. Ton, just DM me who you're wanting me to raid. I'll have a look. Cognac with. Obviously, vodka mixes with anything, but vodka mixing with something good is different. I just love strawberry flavored cocktails, honestly. Pineapple cocktails are good too. Like that, both of those are my absolute shit. Anyone who likes vodka is a woman who just don't know how to savor a drink. No, I just like getting drunk. Um, Vodka is not for children. Not a mint person, but put that in a cocktail. I used to be a weirdo who, um, who fucking used to get mojitos without the mint in it for the longest time. Uh, and then I grew up. Oh my god. Right. Give me one sec. Okay. Okay. Mm. Rum, simple syrup with sparkling water. Yeah. Well, not simple syrup. I would usually make they were flavored with like strawberry and stuff. I just wanted strawberry drinks. That's all. Right. If you redeem more hydrates, we'll be matching them. Jesus Christ. Whiskey or bourbon. Nice. Right. Uh, can I exist? I'm gonna do this person. You. Sure. Um. Huh? Okay. There we go. I have found someone lovely to raid. Brass mules or Moscow mules? Ooh, that is some good shit, to be fair.
You know the is it the Hosier song? The one where it's like, oh, I drink my whiskey neat. I was obsessed with that song for a while and I kept singing it, and so now my friends were like teasing me because they're like, bitch, you have literally the fruitiest cocktails known to man. You cannot drink neat whiskey. And I was like, bet. So now I need to find like good whiskey so I can prove them wrong. mm. Oops. Sorry. Sorry about that. And yes, Ton, I did find someone. Rum is best for sipping, tequila is best for shot. Tequila shots will fuck you up. I had a time when we were on like a overnight trip with university. We all arrived to the place we were gonna stay. We got out of like the buses, and as soon as we did, one of my friends just handed me 2 shots of tequila, and I was like, "Girl, we just got here. We haven't even gone into the hostel yet. What the fuck?" Oh my god. Oh my god, Ham. All right, let's do a little raid. Let's end out stream because I am getting very, very tired. And everything is running out of battery. And I won't be able to see chat soon. So, thank you guys for hanging out with me, even if you were attempting to torture me. I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all being here. I will hopefully put out a new schedule today for the week and see you guys next time. Bye. Oh, I could do. Thank you. Thank you, Agadoo. Bye.